Welcome to our day dedicated to Microsoft 365. My name is Barry Coombs and I'm Chief Technologist here at Computer World. At Computer World, we specialise in three very specific areas of technology. Infrastructure modernisation, that's everything that the users shouldn't have to care about as long as it's working. And of course, when it stops working, it becomes the biggest problem for them. So this is all the things about the technologies that happen in the server room, networking, servers, storage, backup, data protection, all of those things. Obviously, at the moment, we're seeing a mass movement to the cloud. The subject around today then, workspace transformation, everything that surrounds the user. What device are you using? What applications are you using? How are you communicating, collaborating with your colleagues? Obviously, the last 12 months has been full of mass change in this area, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And of course, the final thing, security. Both of those areas need to be deployed in the most secure way to make sure that the data that your organization relies on and ultimately that you are responsible for is secure. We offer a wide variety of services and we're able to help you. So if we can help you, please reach out to a Computer World account manager, or you can find me on LinkedIn to see how we can help you. We've got a packed agenda today with a number of different sessions all around different technologies or different areas of Microsoft 365. Today's conference isn't just for those technologists, those people that work in the IT department, but it is for everyone. If you're a champion, if you're a business leader, there will be something for you today. And to make your life a bit easier, next to each session, we've highlighted whether it is a technical or business session. Indeed, there are some that have both together. So make sure you pick the sessions that are directed at your level, at the areas you want to engage, to make sure you get the most out of the day. You can go to the website and pick all the sessions throughout the day, even if you can't attend, to make sure you can watch back to those sessions at a later date. We're also giving away an Only Pizza Oven. If, like me, and you're kind of fed up of lockdown, so you're trying to make the most of it, the Only Pizza Oven is absolutely fantastic for those garden parties, the rule of 6 parties in your garden. So scan the QR code on screen or check out the prizes section on the website for the event to find out how you can be in with a chance of winning the Only Pizza Oven. So on to the main event, on to the main subject that we're going to be covering today. And what I want to do for you in this session is just kind of recap where we've been, look at Microsoft 365, what it is, and how your organization could be consuming it. I want to kind of give you a few areas to be thinking about as you go through the day to help think how your organization could be making better use of the technologies that Microsoft provide. And of course, the last 12 months has been full of disruption, but also full of transformation. The meme on the right-hand side of the screen, for me, kind of always makes me chuckle a little bit. Who led digital transformation within your company? Well, before the coronavirus pandemic, before the lockdown, lots of organizations were considering how they could introduce more flexible ways of working. How could they improve communication and collaboration for those users that weren't in the office, that were on the road or at satellite offices or even working from home? And we were indeed working with lots of forward-thinking customers to implement the technologies that we've come to rely on over the last 12 months, way before the coronavirus pandemic. But ultimately, for every company, coronavirus has caused or meant that we've had to transform to stay relevant, to make sure our companies are still functioning. We've had to make sure that we have adopted and changed. Many people are talking about the 3 R's of the last 12 months. The first was react. We all remember last March when we were kind of given the notice from the government that we were going into lockdown. Overnight, we had to look at our IT systems. We had to consider, how can we make sure our businesses are still functioning? Our users are still working during this time. IT did a phenomenal job to make sure technology worked, making sure that they went out and bought laptops, whatever devices they could, implementing or changing new systems to make sure it kept up with that demand. And then after we got over that, we got into a period where we were able to work from home. And certainly over the last 6 months, we've been in that kind of reflect phase where we've kind of gone, well, actually what we've done, where does it take us? Was it a quick fix and we now need a permanent solution? Do we need to be kind of reflecting on, does it need to be more secure? Is it working in the optimal way? What will happen when half of the workforce end up back in the office and the other half are at home or on the road? So as we've gone through that reflect phase, you'll be thinking about those changes that need to go into place within your business to make sure they're permanent fixtures, to make sure they're secure, to make sure that they truly meet the standards of your organization. And that's where we come to the refactor phase, where we put those changes into place. And important elements with that will be within Microsoft 365, which we'll be talking about. Microsoft 365 has become a central way for us to do business. If you're the same as us here at Computer World, Microsoft Teams is now where a lot of our data is stored, obviously on the back end in SharePoint. We communicate every day. Every day I sit down at 9 o'clock and I'm pretty much on Microsoft Teams until 5:30, 6 o'clock at the end of the day. What happened to that commute time between meetings or going to get a drink at the water cooler? Microsoft 365 has also developed and adapted and innovated itself during that time. Just consider how Microsoft Teams was 12 months ago with that 4 people to a screen, the 2x2 view. We're now able to have much larger views. We're now able to interact with different scenes to lower fatigue. We've also got new things like presenter view coming. It has been a busy 12 months, both for us, for you, and for Microsoft. And now is a good time to reflect and refactor what you are doing with Microsoft 365 in your organization. I wanted to stop and pause and just kind of think about actually what is Microsoft 365? Microsoft 365 is the coming together of Windows, Office, and enterprise mobility plus security. So this is the device that you're using, it is the applications you are using to be productive, and it is the way that we secure it. Many of you will know about Office 365, and indeed, if you are joining us from the business side of things, if you are an Office 365 champion, maybe your main focus is more about the productivity applications, and we'll talk wide about them. But if we stop thinking about Microsoft 365 for a minute and think about Workspace Transformation or Workplace Transformation, or actually user experience, what actually matters to the users inside your organization? Where do they go? What applications do they use? What is the experience when they're processing some data? When they receive it from a customer, what happens to it? Who do they collaborate with? When you, with your colleagues, have to work on a Word document or a PowerPoint document together, how do you do that? How are you effective? Workspace transformation is about everything that surrounds the user. And now is a good time to make sure we're rethinking absolutely everything. From my perspective, I always recommend that organizations think about their vision. What will it look like in 3 to 5 years? Don't be bound by your perceived technical limitations with tools like Microsoft 365. Think about actually what will the user feel? How will they work? And then match that back to the technologies. And whilst today we are talking about Microsoft 365, it won't be the only answer inside your organization. There will be other pieces of software, other pieces of hardware, other elements that make that user experience, that make the journey that the users go on every day even more important. So Microsoft 365, as we've said, will help you get more done with the productivity applications. It'll help you collaborate and communicate better, to work better together. It will allow you to see insights into your data to be able to build your business and be more profitable. It helps you safeguard your data, and ultimately it is simplified. It is all in one now. You're not having to attach multiple different products together to try and make something that works for your organization. If we focus a little bit on Office 365, because predominantly this is where the conversation starts. Office 365, think of it as a toolbox with many tools inside of it. Now, if we were at home talking about DIY, you wouldn't kind of walk out to your shed or your garage, pour the toolbox out on the floor, pick up a tool and think, right, I've got a hammer here, where are some nails I can hit? Now, often this is what happens with Office 365. Someone goes, Barry, what's Microsoft Planner and what can I use it for? I urge you to think about this differently. Think about your organization, think about the users, think about the departments, understand their pains, understand their challenges, and then match that to a tool that might be in Microsoft 365. There are a wide range of tools in Microsoft 365. Have a look at those on screen. Maybe you're not that familiar with all of those on screen. You will want to make sure that some people in your organization are familiar with the brilliant basics, how to do a meeting in Microsoft Teams, how to chat and collaborate, where to go and find company-wide information. Other users will be using the collaboration tools inside Microsoft Teams for their home teams, for projects. But then we start to get into the differences within the department. Who's going to be using Planner? Are we going to be creating and uploading videos to stream? Do we want to have lists helping us track information through the business? And we've really got to make sure that we're engaging with the users, with the business, with the departments, and helping them. But what is really important is to make sure that we're on this journey together, that IT and business are coming together to make sure that the users don't only have the tools they need, but the data is secured, it is managed, and we can work in harmony together to make sure you can be productive whilst being secure. And as I've touched upon, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end with those applications. It's a good time to be rethinking the devices. There's a multitude of devices that are available, and we need to think about the personas. What are the job roles inside your organization? So maybe you're from the business side of the organization. How do you work from home? How would you be able to conduct a digital whiteboard session if that's something that you need to do in your role? If you're heading back into the office soon and some of the users are going to be at home and some of the users are going to be in the office, what does your meeting room technology look like? We've all come to be able to join digital meetings from home quite quickly and quite easily. But how are we going to do that in the office with a number of people in the office and a number of people at home? It's a good time to review the devices and the experiences you need to get. Maybe you don't have budget to refresh all your devices this year, and most organizations simply wouldn't be able to look at that. But you want to consider, what is the ultimate goal? What will really help your users? If you are a user that does need to annotate, you do need to be whiteboarding, then a device like a Surface Pro or something like that with a stylus would be really good. If you are an exec and all you want is a solution that means you can jump on meetings quickly and easily in your office whenever possible, well, maybe having a dedicated phone or meeting room solution in your office might be something that you require. There are a magnitude of solutions, including mobile devices and tablets, and it's important to not just think of Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365 as a Windows-only solution. It goes far and beyond, and it supports Android and iOS and other platforms just as well as it does on Windows today. And there's two elements. A, making sure that as an IT department, you are supporting these, whether it's a bring your own device initiative that it can be done securely, whether it is individual users have got specified devices. You're someone on the road all the time and you've got an Android tablet. And then secondly, making sure the users know how to make the use of it. We then look at how we're going to manage those devices and what the experience is. And we've got great sessions today all about looking at device management, things like autopilot. You want to make sure that you are managing devices in the way that suits today. Previously, it was all about devices in your office connected to your LAN that you were managing locally. Today, those devices could be anywhere. And we've got technologies like autopilot that will help you deploy and Intune that will help you manage those moving forward. So as we go through the rest of the day, I'd like you to ask some of the questions. If you're focused more on Office 365, think about how you're training your users, how you're creating standards. What is the way inside your organization? So at Computer World, we talk about it as the Computer World way. What are the set standards we like to do so people know where to find communication? We have a communication charter in place. We've got a dedicated intranet that is available in multiple solutions. We need to think about what application use cases for individual users. So ask yourself, do all of your users have a clear understanding on how to use the tools they have access to? And if they do, think about how you're going to keep up with the changes in Microsoft 365. At the end of this month, there are a number of changes coming out around meetings. How are you going to communicate that? Do you need to? How are you going to make sure that new people coming into the organization can get up to speed with the standards in your organization quickly and easily? Can users work just as effectively at home as they can do in the office? Or maybe we should be flipping that on the head. Can users work in the office as effectively as they have been at home during the last 12 months? And then asking that question about when that partial return to the office comes back, do I need to be rethinking anything? Do users need a different experience? Maybe users have been using the inbuilt microphone and camera in their laptops, but when they go back to a noisy office, they're going to need a headset. Maybe you need those meeting room solutions. Maybe you need different devices. How could the user experience and business processes inside your organization be improved? Is there that impossible task that has to go through the organization that touches far too many people and always gets lost? Where are we in the process? It doesn't fit within our main business system. Is there something inside Microsoft 365 that could help us with that? Or maybe give us some insights as to where we are? We can look at those technologies and we can see how we can help you. And can you manage and deploy your devices as effectively on the LAN in your office as you could do when they were off the LAN, when they're at home in people's houses, even without legacy technologies? Technologies like VPNs have skyrocketed over the last 12 months. But to be honest with you, they are just connecting a legacy technology, the LAN, to home workers. It isn't a truly modern way of working. It isn't being able to pick up any device anywhere and just get on with your work. These are the technologies that need rethinking, that need be refactoring, and need to be part of the considerations with what you are doing. So as we go through today, there's lots of sessions. I highly recommend that you go through the agenda, pick what is relevant to you, and look at those sessions. But that's only just the beginning of the journey. We at Computer World want to help you. We specialize in Microsoft 365. We've got business consultants, trainers, technical engineers, support engineers, the whole remit, the whole group of people that you need to be successful with Microsoft 365. We're helping multiple organizations improve communication, collaboration, be more productive whilst being secure. You need to ask yourself is, where are you on this journey at the moment? From a business side, how well informed are your users? How knowledgeable are they? Are they being as productive as possible? Or are you holding them back because they haven't had the proper training, adoption, or the care and consideration into how Microsoft 365 can be really as effective? And from a business side of things, how much have you looked into the security elements available in Microsoft 365, or maybe even Office 365? There are multiple different areas you can look at. And don't forget those technologies that are kind of on the periphery. Where does your telephone system fit into this? When your users are working from home, are they able to take work calls as effectively as they would have been in the office? Or actually, should you be looking to bring that into Microsoft Teams? Do you have a virtual desktop solution? Is it time that that was moved to the cloud? So there's lots to do here, lots for you to learn, and we're really excited to hopefully be helping you on that journey. So speak to our specialist, speak to your account manager, reach out to me, reach out to anyone at Computer World. We want to do sessions with you to help you understand where you are on the journey. No commitment. We want to be there showing you how we can help you. I hope you've enjoyed this keynote presentation. Very different to the usual things that we were doing pre-COVID era, where we'd have you together, be able to have great conversations in person. But reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn. If you want to chat about something during the whole day, I'm available. I'm happy to speak to you. So thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy the day, and don't forget to enter the competition.